here, you're going to actually pick which track you're on. And it really has to do with what your end goals are. And so the reason why we had such an in-depth presentation by DWSD was to kind of get you all primed for this journey of the credit track. This is, as you can tell, DWSD has been very busy this past year coming up with policies and rolling out the amended stormwater charge. And so we want to make sure that we're able to link the field guide to something that is so important that's happening in our community, and to really help build the capacity of businesses and nonprofits and our faith-based organization to be able to be stewards of their land and really be able to demonstrate how you can actually apply and achieve one of these credits. So we upped the grant amount because we recognize that there is a few extra steps involved. There's going to be engineering plans. We're going to be working through and perhaps amending some of the field guide designs to make sure that we can achieve the maximum credit on your site that we have funding to implement. So you're going to be thinking about the implementation of the lot design. Of course, maintenance is still highly important with this one because we have to make sure that these designs continue to perform and actually achieve the goal of keeping water out of the system. But we want to also make sure that there's funding to be able to, again, spread the word about what you've done. And so we're talking about, sharing with your network. Your network might look different based on who you are and where you're located. If you're on a small business, you might network with other small businesses, and you're able to kind of apply what you're learning to their similar circumstances. So this sounds very complex, but as I said, Sarah, who is new to our office, but is completely informed on this program and ready to get started, is going to be your technical assistance connection to really help you walk through the process with DWSD. Yep, and so I kind of hinted to some of this. Eligibility is going to look a little different. It's going to be similar in that you need to, you're going to have to own the building and the land where the design would be installed adjacent. Or if it's a parking lot that would be taking on some of the water. You have to be a business, but that would require also a fiduciary, so we can help you think through that because we have to be able to give these funds to other nonprofits. So if you are a business, but maybe you're a part of a business association or there's a nonprofit in your area that you could work with, essentially this just means that they would be dispersing the funds to you and that there would potentially be a fee for that, but your grant would also cover the fiduciary fee. So again, nonprofits or faith-based organizations. And one of the requirements is that you have to start with the DWSD site assessment process that Valerie was talking about. So this will get you through, as an applicant, you'll go ahead and register. This will get you through step 1. And we want to get you accelerated so then we can hit the ground running when you're a grantee. We're working with DWSD to make sure you can get through that process quicker, and Sarah will actually be accompanying you to those meetings so we can figure out how to really work with DWSD and marry the field guide mini grant. So office hours with the community track, they were highly recommended. With the credit track, they are mandatory. Sarah will talk about this a little bit more, but because this is a new process, we want to make sure we have a chance up front to make sure this is a good fit for you as an organization or a business as you're endeavoring to put the work into this application. And then potentially, if it's not a good fit, you can kind of understand where else, maybe the capital assistance partnership through DWSD, or thinking about some optional options that could fit for your lot. It's a great opportunity just to get some free advice. And then again, a complete application. So Sarah can help you with any issues that you might see on the application that you want. All right, so what makes a successful application? Just like with the community track, demonstrate the use of the field guide and working with lots. As I said, this is a bit experimental this year. We're kind of starting with the field guide as the foundation for these designs, but we're likely going to be tweaking them some to make sure that, again, you can get the highest credit return that your property and your desire and then the funding, we're kind of putting all the pieces together. It's possible we might even create some new designs out of this. So your flexibility is key, but also starting with the field guide. What are the things that you like? What are the designs that you might want to alter? There will be room in the application for you to talk about that. So it's really important for you to show how you're already a leader in your network and engage with others. It might not be around stormwater, but it helps demonstrate that you're going to be able to work with others and share your learnings really effectively. And here it is again, Shari just put this in there one more time. Express your interest in shared learning opportunities, because the credit track is kind of going to be its own cohort. There will be the community track and the credit track will get together for convenings, but recognizing that there are some just specific issues that go along with managing stormwater and getting through the credit process. There'll also be some targeted learnings. So I have explained your capacity and keyword fortitude to execute. We know that this is a new process, that we're working with government departments. We know that there are multiple steps, that other things can be triggered, like potentially there's a zoning issue. I'm not saying that necessarily there will be, but things can come up. And so it's really about being able to also demonstrate maybe a chance where you were able to work through something that was complicated with the city or bureaucracy. I don't want to scare you too much because, again, we do have technical assistance that's guiding you, but it's important that you're really showing us that you're getting to this end goal of getting the credit. And just like the community example, submitting a soil sample to DFC, very important because when it comes time for us to actually get off the ground running, the ground could be frozen. So we just want to have that ahead of time to make things easier. All right. So similar to the others, work through the site assessment process. Implementation construction date has been moved back a bit because we recognize that this is a slightly more complicated process and there will be review time and working through the site assessment. Of course, just like with the community program, you're using the grant funds for appropriate expenditures and you're keeping track of them. You're documenting your project, so we can also put you up on the website as a land leader and someone who's kind of forayed into getting some of the first credits that the DWC has handed out. You're accepting liability, and then maintenance and outreach, so you can really prove that you're also doing that as well.